Ah yes, The Mandalorian Season 2 is finally here. And after an excruciating wait, we'll finally have answers to our biggest question. Can Baby Yoda get any cuter? Alright, fine, there are other questions. But with the release of Season 2, it's time to play a little catch-up. Think of this video as your refresher course to reintroduce you to everything you need to know about the first season of The Mandalorian, and what surprises the highly anticipated second season holds. After you're done, I promise you'll be in full-on bounty hunter shape. So let's get started, right now. This is the way.
Fine.
There was a lot of hype surrounding The Mandalorian before its Season 1 premiere, and I think it's safe to say it exceeded almost every expectation. It gave us fans a simple, straightforward Star Wars story with a fascinating protagonist and the most adorable side character of all time. Yeah, I'll say it here. Baby Yoda is cuter than Baby Groot. I have spoken. But what type of adventures did Mando go through that led him to that epic Season 1 finale? Well, it's crazy to think how much things changed. When the show opened, it was 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and we were introduced to the dirty underbelly of the Star Wars world. Focusing on a Mandalorian bounty hunter revealed a whole new side of the universe that we've never seen before, and Mando made for a compelling lead character. He was a man who seemed perfectly alright traveling the universe alone, hating on droids wherever he went and building up a serious case of helmet hair. But the first episode brought into focus exactly what this show was going to be, with a Baby Yoda reveal. Then we got to watch Mando grow to really care for this young, whatever Yoda's race is called, and he had to battle an increasing number of bad guys who all wanted their hands on Baby Yoda, and presumably his Force-sensitive powers. Along the way, Mando made some new friends. Early on, he teams up with Kuiil, an Ugnaught who gave us one of the best catchphrases from the entire show, and a droid named IG-11. Unfortunately, neither of those characters made it out of the season alive. While Kuiil's death was shocking and sad, it was IG-11 that surprisingly affected us the most. At first, IG-11 was just another bounty hunter that Mando seemingly killed in the very first episode, but the robot made a surprise reappearance near the end of the season, and surprisingly had a huge impact on the overall story. What else would you expect from a character voiced by Taika Waititi? IG-11 was the only character who's seen Mando without his mask, because he isn't technically a living thing, and then sacrificed himself to save the group. So which friends are still alive? Well, there's Greef Karga, Mando's bounty agent turned ally. It seems like most of Mando's relationships start off as hostile before he can make any true friends, and Greef is no exception. After nearly killing one another, the two reconnected at the end of the season, and now seem mostly on the same side. The other standout side character is former shock trooper Cara Dune. Most of her backstory was shrouded in secrecy, and all we knew about her was that she could most likely kick all of our butts with her eyes closed and both hands tied around her back. An interesting tidbit was revealed in the Season 1 finale as we learned she was originally from Alderaan. Knowing that Alderaan turned from a prosperous planet to a bunch of lifeless space rocks in A New Hope thanks to that big old Death Star, it suddenly became quite clear why Cara Dune abandoned the Empire to work for the Rebellion instead. And all seasons of television need a big bad, and we certainly got one in Moff Gideon, a ruthless leader of a remaining segment of the Empire that wants the child more than anything else.
You have something I want.
Mando and his friends beat Gideon in the Season 1 finale, but given where we left things, that felt more like they had just won a single battle. But the war for the child was just getting started. And I know I can't be the only one whose jaw dropped to the floor when in the Season 1 finale we saw Moff Gideon cut himself out of that TIE fighter using the infamous Darksaber. For those of you who don't know, the Darksaber is an incredible weapon. There's only one in existence, and its inclusion in The Mandalorian is fascinating. From what we know about Star Wars lore and the animated cartoon shows, the Darksaber was made over 1,000 years ago by Tar Vizsla, the first Mandalorian ever inducted into the Jedi Order. It's just as powerful as a lightsaber, but it's said the size and intensity of the blade can change based on the user's emotions. To the Mandalorians, it's a symbol of leadership and a legendary item, so chances are Mando is going to look shocked when he sees Moff Gideon has it. Well, at least I assume he's going to look shocked. It's kinda hard to tell with that mask. But now here's the exciting thing. Since Moff Gideon has the Darksaber now, chances are Mando will most likely get it from him in the future, and wield it himself. I mean, it can't stay in the bad guy's hands forever, can it? And since Mandalorian custom claims one can only obtain the Darksaber by defeating the previous owner in combat, or else a person isn't truly worthy of it, I expect another massive showdown between Gideon and Mando is coming. The biggest question, though, is how did Moff Gideon get the Darksaber? And hopefully, that's addressed in Season 2. The last time we saw it before The Mandalorian, it was being given to Bo-Katan in the Rebels TV show to use against the Empire. So it may not be clear right now how Gideon got a hold of it, but chances are, it means that a lot of good people probably died for it to be in Gideon's hands. No matter what though, chances are the Darksaber is going to be a major plot point for Season 2. So speaking of Season 2, what exactly can we expect from this next batch of episodes? The Season 1 finale set up a pretty clear goal for Mando. The Armorer, who was a leader of the tribe of Mandalorian warriors, told Mando that he is now duty-bound to return Baby Yoda to his people. Now, it wasn't exactly clear who she was referring to. At first, you think when the Armorer says you must reunite it with its own kind, you think of Baby Yoda reuniting with Papa Yoda and Mama Yoda. But if you look at that conversation again, it seems like the Armorer is telling Mando to reunite Baby Yoda with the Jedi. And given the Season 2 trailer, that's exactly who Mando seems to be looking for. And that is going to be interesting to see. The Star Wars timeline has always been a little strange. In the original trilogy, not many people knew what Jedi or Sith actually were. And if they did know the terms, it was more talking about stuff of legend. But then the prequels came out and we saw how vital the Jedi were in maintaining order and peace throughout the galaxy. So sometime in the 19 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, the Empire was able to somehow turn the Jedi into myths and legends. And even though this is set a few years after Return of the Jedi, it still seems like the news of the Jedi's return is slow-moving across the galaxy, because the trailer highlights how mysterious and unknown the Jedi actually are. So expect Season 2 to dive into Jedi history, as well as Mandalore history, as Mando crosses paths with hidden Jedi. And this new quest will lead to interactions with some famous Star Wars characters that I'm sure we're all excited to see. When news broke that Rosario Dawson would reportedly be playing fan favorite Ahsoka Tano, the internet went nuts. Ahsoka has grown into one of the most popular characters in the Star Wars fandom, due to her cartoon story, and her fate has been ambiguous after an encounter with Darth Vader. We don't know much about Ahsoka's role in The Mandalorian Season 2, but it would be great if her and Mando could meet up, and she could be our exposition guide to everything that's happened to the Jedi in recent years. And if she's so engaging on screen that she gets her own spin-off show, I wouldn't be mad. But including Ahsoka represents something big for The Mandalorian. It shows that now that the first season is done and over, they can start adding in more classic characters who won't take away from our main characters. We needed a first season of relatively unknown characters to get us invested, but now the real adventure begins. And another incredibly exciting addition is the news of Boba Fett making his long-awaited return to the franchise. Most fans of Boba Fett know that the bounty hunter didn't actually die when he fell into the Sarlacc pit, and bringing him back for Season 2 is absolutely perfect. He'll be a great foil to Mando, and I could honestly see him being friend or foe in the new season. And just how will he be incorporated? Well, here's your spoiler alert, so proceed with caution. Set photos seem to suggest that Mando will cross paths with a new character named Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Olyphant, and Cobb will be wearing Boba Fett's iconic armor. The rumor is that by the end of the first episode of Season 2, the original Boba Fett will show up to reclaim his armor from Vanth, so just be on the lookout for that. Overall, this is gearing up to be an awesome season of television. Not only are we revisiting some of our favorite new Star Wars characters like Baby Yoda and Cara Dune, but we're also in for fan-favorite returning characters like Ahsoka Tano and Boba Fett. All set against a backdrop of more quality Mando and Baby Yoda time. Plus, throw the Darksaber into the mix and you got yourself one happy Star Wars fan. What more could we possibly ask for? The only downside is how short the season is. With only 8 episodes, it just doesn't feel like enough time. But it's probably better that way. A shorter season means more money for the budget, and a lack of filler episodes, which is always appreciated. Mando doesn't have time for filler no more. If Season 2 sticks the landing and continues building off the great momentum established in Season 1, then there's no telling how far The Mandalorian can go. Already, fan response to this show has been overwhelmingly positive, which means it'll probably be the flagship Star Wars television show for many years to come, and eventually lead to its own spin-offs and continuations. And hey, if Disney Plus continues to turn out stories and shows like The Mandalorian, I think spin-offs are a great idea. The movie side of things for Star Wars is so divisive, so thankfully we have The Mandalorian that we can all agree is pretty darn awesome, right? I have spoken! This is the way. Well. Are you excited for Season 2? What new adventures do you think Mando and Baby Yoda are gonna find themselves in this time? Let us know in the comments down below, and be sure to hit that big ol' subscribe button for more awesome Star Wars content just like this. Thanks a lot for watching The Binger. We'll see you next time.